Via Sistina and Buckaroo. Via Sistina, a terrific win.
Autumn Glow's given the cue now, and the mare's starting to open up. Autumn Glow protecting her unbeaten record, and this Magic Mare makes it 6 out of 6. Flashing home Apocalyptic in the middle. Apocalyptic went home best, won the Furious Stakes.
The first Saturday in October is always a special time in horse racing. All the big races start today, don't they? It's the start of the spring in so many ways. Tyler Schiller, he's on Briassa in the Premier today. Zach Lloyd on Soul of Spain in the Metropolitan, and Nash, Queen of Clubs, in the Flight, just to name a few. We've got a sensational day in 2 states. Katie, do you remember me?
I do. It's so good to have you back, Bruce, and what a day we have in store for everyone. It's the Epsom Handicap, the 160th running, and of course, so much prize money to be won. Looking at the menu today, the Epsom Handicap, of course, there's over $5 million to be won with these 3 big Group 1s. The Metropolitan for the Stayers, the Flight Stakes for the fillies, and of course we're going to learn more with the Premier Stakes. The Everest is not far away, and the first 2-year-old races, Bruce, with the Breeders and the Gym Crack. So it's a very exciting day.
And as you said, Katie, more than $5 million here alone at Royal Randwick. A triple treat with those 3 Group 1s that you mentioned, and some of the major players. Well, Birdman, can he win as he did the Kingston Town? Vauban, can he create some modern history with the weight? Apocalyptic, can she continue on that winning run? And then Chow Wolf trying to go back to back, and Autumn Glow unbeaten, and she could be absolutely anything at all. Let's find out what sort of a track they're going to be running on today at Royal Randwick. A big warm welcome to Emma Freedman. Freedy.
I have been looking forward to this day, 3 Group 1s, for weeks and weeks and weeks. It has finally arrived, and we're racing on a good 4 deck here at Royal Randwick today. Rail in the true position, and we've had such good weather here in Sydney over the past couple of weeks. They've actually had to apply 25 mils of irrigation to the turf to keep it in that good 4 range. Sunny skies, light breeze. Everyone's going to get their turn today. Looking forward to a massive day of racing here at headquarters in Sydney.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that. Look at these beautiful scenes on this beautiful day. So let's go to the tab and to Ali Mosley for the first time. Ali, it's going to be a huge betting day. What have you got for us in the midway? And welcome.
It absolutely is, Bruce, and it's wonderful to have you back. Just the cherry on top for us all here. Our first race is open.
Are replaced by fine, fashion and flukes. And our gaze turns to a different kind of athlete.
The majestic thoroughbred.
And the brave and skillful men and women who ride them.
It's the first Saturday in October. Moving day.
We're off and racing to the massive roar of the crowd.
When we find out if we have a good one.
She shot away in the Epsom. It's all over.
Do we have the next Winx?
21 today on the biggest dance floor of them all.
Mackay.
What a superstar, and Mackay even does it easily.
Sunline.
Sunline, the Queen is back.
Or Super.
Look at Superimpose, he's come through between horses, he's going to do it. It's history at Randwick.
This is when they all announce themselves.
It's Epsom and Turnbull Day. It's now.
Huge prize money, massive crowds.
The best horses.
A century of the very best. Via Sistina by 7 lengths. And this Magic Mare makes it 6 out of 6. Autumn Glow, big win in the Theo Marks.
Our most prestigious races.
It's one of the most magnificent wins in a Cox Plate.
It's the best time of year.
It's our time to shine.
Welcome to racing season.
And Matt Hill, thank you so much for having us in your broadcast box.
Great to have you here, Crawford. And all the stars are here by the look of it, not just the horse flesh.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for noticing. Now, we're in the Hill Stand.
Yes.
How did you get a grandstand named after you?
Oh, look, I've had a cafe named after me. There's a Hill Gate as well. No, this Hill Stand's been here for about 50 years, and all the great race callers called from this position. Greg Miles called 36 Melbourne Cups. Of course, the Bill Collins, Joe Brown, Bert Bryant, and our very own Bruce McAvaney called 4 cups from here, of course.
What about calling? You know, your memory is unbelievable. You got to remember the names, the colours, the jockeys, and then on top of it all, you've got to keep yourself going all day because there's no emergency caller as a backup.
No, there's a bit of lem sip and a kettle for a cup of tea. Apart from that, I'm here on my own in a box for 7 hours. Maybe my personality reflects that, but are you offering to be the super sub?
I could be a super sub or the emergency for you.
Okay.
Would you like to hear me in action?
All right, 50 to go. Aliana's in front. Via Sistina's coming at Aliana. Antino late. Over to you, Croft.
Via Sistina kicks and charges away, and Via Sistina wins. She's going to head to the Cox Plate as a $2 favourite. Don't worry about the rest. When you're a winner, that's all anyone ever calls about or thinks about. Anyway, I think I stuffed that up.
Come through your pub?
Oh, probably most of them.
For one weekend a year, this quiet town transforms into the perfect spring weekend racing escape. And believe me, you don't want to miss the legendary Menangatang Cup.
It's an event.
Doesn't stop after the last race either, does it?
No. Then we have an after party for the races. In the big shed, we have a band there.
Party even bigger when one of the locals takes out the cup, like Austin Coffee a couple of years ago.
Yes, that was a big day. Yeah, Austy's been breaking his neck to win it. He finally got it.
Bannerton hits the front. Bannerton wins the cup.
We've heard from some of the locals that it's the biggest party they've ever had in this town when Bannerton won for you 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, it was a big day.
It's a really popular meeting here, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is, Kate. It's no doubt about that. It's only a once-a-year meeting, and it's a great crowd, always a big crowd.
People come from Perth and Queensland and all over Australia.
So many great country cups right around Australia. What's unique about it, Menang?
Oh, I think we're like in the outback, but we're in Victoria. Like, we're so close to Melbourne, but you come here and you're in the middle of nowhere.
It's not just a racecourse. Tell us about this unique circuit.
Yeah, it is very unique. There's a football ground right there, and the home straight actually becomes part of the football ground.
What do you think's been the secret here at Menang that the crowds keep coming?
The timing, the hard work's been done, putting the crops in the ground. This is the last hurrah, and people will come out and celebrate Menangatang Cup, and then it's time to go and harvest.
So if you're looking for the best bush racing on the track and meeting some wonderful people and warm hospitality off it, trust me, everyone agrees you don't want to miss this year's Cup. The Menangatang races, country racing as real as it gets.
Superimpose is honoured with the next race at Flemington. I think you're most impressionable when you're young, and I fell in love with this horse. Just the way that he used to race from last to first. Back-to-back Epsoms, back-to-back Doncasters. You add in a Cox Plate, he was one very special horse. Saw on this day the emergence of a young star in Incentivise who won a Turnbull and, of course, brilliant, winning a Caulfield Cup and just missing out in a Melbourne Cup. Of course, through the Queensland winter, a little like half yours. Ridden by Brett Preble, and a big shout out to young Tom Preble, his son, who's battling health at the moment. Tom, we are thinking about you, mate. We have got our fingers crossed that you are on the improve after that race form.
Yeah, big shout out to you, Tom. We certainly are wishing you all the very best, and hopefully you're filling your time watching a little bit of racing.
Yeah, so our thoughts with the whole Preble family. Get well soon, Tom. So much to look forward to. This Turnbull Stakes Day is an absolute cracker, isn't it? There's some brilliant horses to assess.
There certainly is some brilliant horses to assess, Richo. Eliana, the ATC Derby dominator, of course, she was very unlucky last time out. She faces up against her stablemate, Via Sistina, 10-time Group 1 winner. Then you have Sedelius, who was excellent in the Underwood. And what about this guy, Half Yours, on his way towards a Caulfield Cup, but he could take out a Turnbull on that path. Damien Lane has got a big book of rides today. He's caught up with Richo.
Building up towards the Turnbull Stakes, and Damien Lane rides Eliana, and you're trying to go back-to-back in the race, up against Via Sistina. Mate, how do you see it playing out?
I think today, hopefully we get a genuine run race. I've drawn well. I should get a good run, and I think she can really run a big race.
Do you see a scenario where James McDonald's probably drawn inside you, that you could be just sitting outside him?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I'll worry too much about that. I just ride Eliana on her merits, and I think on the way she's been going, she's going to be very hard to beat.
You won a derby on her, and then also you rode her last start. How did she feel?
She's great. She's come back in very good order. She trialled up well. She ran enormous first up, again second up, so she's really coming to hand well, and it's a really progressive mare, and I think she's right in this race.
Bruce is back on our coverage today. He commentated the Sydney Marathon, which you ran an unbelievable 2:40 plus. How amazing was that event, mate?
It was a great event. Great to see some of the elites up close and personal. Great to run the course first time for me, and great to run a PB as well.
Yeah, did you stick with them for a little bit?
They were in my sights for the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. Kipchoge, watch out, here comes Frosty.
I've seen him coming back past a couple of times, and just amazing to see him in full flight and how easy they make it look.
And you're a freakish performance, mate. Hey, good luck today.
Thank you.
Hey, Bruce, what about that? 2:40 in the marathon, please.
That is so impressive, Richard. That's a hard course, and he is, what an athlete he is, Damien Lane. This is his song that he goes to, his entrance song. Just Lose Yourself. One of my favourites, actually.
You know this one, Bruce?
I do know this one. I know more about Eminem than I do Snoop Dogg, but that's okay. I know more about Snoop Dogg than I used to. Matty Nevitt.
What does spring mean to me? Well, it means the best horses, the best of our breeds, on the best tracks, trainers and their strategies, jockeys and their tactics, all coming together to put on the best show.
We're off and racing to the massive roar of the crowd.
My fondest memory of spring as a young kid was 1996 when Saintly won the Melbourne Cup, fresh off his win in the Cox Plate.
Cummings had beaten it. Cummings going for 10 and he's got it.
Winning a major race during the spring in Melbourne or Sydney means a really high level of satisfaction and sometimes a bit of relief because you know how much has to go right on the day to get the victory.
Animo holding on, Animo. This time for the big A.
The Epsom handicap is Hartnell winning with top weight in 2018 and setting a track record over a mile.
Hartnell, Dargeno, stride for stride. They hit it, photo.
The Caulfield Guineas is a great test of precocity for a young colt, and that's why it's become a stallion-making race.
Animo the stronger. Animo won the Guineas. Racing in the Caulfield Cup.
The Caulfield Cup is now a really international race with plenty of speed over 2,400 metres.
Duke just said to Harry Copping, this is your moment.
The Everest is a fast race. It's like the Sprinters Cox Plate.
Bella Nipotina wins the Everest.
The Cox Plate is class. This is the race that brings the best horse to the fore, and that's why it's my favourite race.
And James McDonald, a century of the very best. Thea Sistina by 7 lengths.
The Golden Eagle is quickly becoming one of Sydney's shiniest new races. This is a race that's full of depth and has been a real draw card race.
Lake Forest bursting home on the rails. Lake Forest.
There's always so many questions leading into the spring, and they're about to be answered before our very eyes. Champions are about to be crowned. Legends about to be made. And just like everyone watching on 7, I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. Let's go.
100 metres to go, 2 lengths, Young Verta, Bois d'Argent, they were followed by a Tissue into the clear. Via Sistina very wide and Buckaroo is winding up too. Duke de Sessa at the 200 metres and LES there stride for stride. Here's Buckaroo right down the outside with Via Sistina. Duke de Sessa kicking, Via Sistina and Buckaroo are coming together. Buckaroo and Via Sistina, Via Sistina and Buckaroo. Via Sistina, a terrific win.
She started her journey with George Bowie in the UK, and he got her through to win a Group 1 Pretty Polly at the Curragh over in Ireland. Sold for $5.2 million, and that's when we got to see her.
Yes, and she was brilliant on her debut in the Ranvet Stakes. She subsequently had a few little mishaps going through her career, but her crowning moment had to be in the 2024 Cox Plate. A dominant performance, she rated through the roof, and then she continued to go on and win races. She has won now 10 individual Group 1 races. She won 1 Group 1, that was a Pretty Polly, as you referenced, but she has now won 9 in Australia. And this is all of the listed the races that she's won. The Ranvet, the Winks, the Turnbull, Cox Plate, Champion Stakes, Very Elegant, Queen Elizabeth, and well, it could potentially be a Turnbull today.
Yeah, what a CV it is, 13.4 million. So she's won 14 of 26. She's the champ, and she's the one they have to beat. And that's why James McDonald is here today, riding, because he wants to stay with his Australian Horse of the Year. We've got the Rose of Kingston Stakes up next here. Got a spot in the Melbourne Cup as well, where he's winning.
It is some great memories as we come to the Bart Cummings, the race that gets you into the Melbourne Cup. The man who won a dozen of them. 7 more than anybody. Yes, that's right, Bart. Incredible. And James, this takes you back, 2008, on the day around when viewed with your father and grandfather.
Yeah, pretty special day. Viewed held off the International Raiders that day. Viewed, interestingly, was bred by Ian Johnson, who is the breeder of Briasa.
Well, there you go. But Ian doesn't have a statue, but Bart does. I always remember, Richo, on that day that James said, I'm actually better than my grandfather. He's J.B. Cummings. I'm J.A. Cummings. There you go.
Oh, too good. His Majesty, the King, just checking out where 7 and 7 Plus goes and whether or not there's a little hot spot in London at the moment, and Buckingham Palace has turned on 7 Plus to be able to watch the action because Gilded Water is trying to run for a spot into the great race. The Melbourne Cup. Revellare's already got a spot in the race with its terrific win last start in the Archer Stakes. That qualified it for the Melbourne Cup. So not only $355,000 up for grabs here, but also, and Group 3 status, but importantly, the golden ticket. And your last golden ticket available into the Melbourne Cup. What a race it's going to be. Gilded Water, no doubt, is and you're in the great race in Almandon, won in 2016 and then won the Melbourne Cup. Berkeley Square, horse number 1, the Ballarat Cup winner. He's got a lump of weight with 59 kilos. That makes it tough for him. Horse number 2, Lizzie's walking alongside Revellare.
He has got so much of his father in him, so you think, look how beautiful and well put together he is. He's got a huge, enormous stride, and we often see that when he's racing. He's obviously the horse to beat. He looks $1 million, and I wish his connections all the very best.
Live chance he's got. Here's Asterix. This is my best roughie in the race. So this is the Avondale Cup winner over in New Zealand, Group 2 level. He's had a couple of runs back. James McDonald jumps on board like he did in the Randwick City Cup, and he improved there. Chris Waller is the trainer who won the race 11 years ago with the mighty Who Shot the Barman. Mark Twain's got a spot in the Melbourne Cup as well, where he's winning the Roy Higgins back in March. He ran 11th in the Naturalism. He needs to lift a touch. Here's Berkshire Breeze with Lizzie.
As envisaged, he has definitely improved from his last start performance. Obviously, he wasn't good enough for half yours on that occasion, but he's the horse that definitely loves Flemington. You know, he poses with a victory here. He's improved from his last start performance, and there's no half yours in this race.
Horse number 9 is Sadati. Ben Mellon won the race way back in 2008 on Light Vision before it was a win and you're in the Melbourne Cup. Ran 3rd in the Archer, led on that occasion. Whether they use the same tactics again will be interesting. I think the 10 Torrenzino, 11 Gran Piero. This is a nice roughie. He ran really well in an Adelaide Cup. He ran 3rd in the Adelaide Cup there. He liked his run in the Naturalism. He's building his form profile. He is Shane Crawford's good roughie of the day, our mug punter, who will prove that he's far from a mug if he's able to get this horse up. Number 12 is Mormona. Mickey D won the race on with Luna Flare. Terrific run in the Archer. Runner up to Revellare, meets it better at the weights today. And then we move to the favourite, Lizzie's alongside the King's horse.
This guy was magnificent last time out, and he definitely hits this race in a perfect point in his preparation. He's low down in the weights, off a really dominant performance, and he's definitely forward in condition. He looks as though he's ticking all the boxes to get right into the Cup.
Great to have Lizzie walking around in the yard. Bird of Bye, I think, can run some sort of race. Good run in the Archer. That'll top him off. He's had 3 runs now. I expect him to improve. All right, here we go. The Bart Cummings. Let's catch up with Matty Nevitt. We're a market mover.
Yeah, I'm not sure if His Majesty is getting involved here, Rich, or if he's just a spectator, but Gilded Water is definitely the market mover into $2.10. It's your favourite with Sportsbet in the Bart Cummings.
Revellare's already booked a spot into the Cup. Rob Hickmott joins me. Rob, great to see you, mate. You just ticking over nicely, your boy?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yes, he is. Probably not as good as you on your holiday, but no, he's had a bit of inclement weather up there at Ballarat. He's starting to come in the coat, but everything's going on song at the moment.
You know what it takes to win this race and also win the big one. So you win this race. Is it an opportunity for you to block another live chance? Get them out of the race?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, this is you know, Alman and Greenwood, you know, one at Turnbull and at Bart Cummings, respectively, and we're trying to win this race. There's no doubt about that. Now, there's been a few questions around the intent, but he's there to win. I know the 59 kilos is a bit of an impost, but he's a horse that only knows how to do one thing, and you don't want to take that away from him, and he'll be trying his guts out.
Yeah, and he always tries so hard. Is this his top-off run for the Melbourne Cup, or do you give another one to him?
Look, time will tell, mate. We'll just see what happens today.
And is he Caulfield Cup still? What do you think?
Oh, well, it depends on today. He could be. If he won today and got the penalty, you'd have to rethink things. And he's probably not the type of horse of Almanda's preparation who went through and we could back off a touch.
Yeah.
He went through this race and went in a month out, which is it's more of a European preparation. But look, we'll just wait and see and what happens today. And it's going to be a few days after that before we make a decision.
Great insight, mate. Good luck. Really keen to see him again today.
Thanks, Richo.
Good to see Rob Hickmott, of course, who's won a couple of Melbourne Cups. Fantastic trainer. And he steered Almandan and prepared Almandan to win this race en route to winning the Melbourne Cup. Interesting insight there as to what he's going to do with Revelare. He's here to win, says Rob.
Yeah, and he looks magnificent. He's just done such a good job with him as well, because he's had several preparations that have been a really good foundation for this peak preparation to run in the Melbourne Cup. He's so full of life as well. He's got so much zest when he walks around the yard. He's really got a lot of freshness in his legs. I think probably the horse that's well suited is Gilded Water.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, and he's come on so much from that last start performance when he was able to win a benchmark 84. So naturally I think he's got so much progression, and the real key with him is he's got to turn a foot over this distance, and that's what wins you these races.
Well, James Cummings saddled up Avilius with 58.5 kilos to win the race. James, who would you like to put a saddle on in this?
I thought Gilded Water was the horse here. Avilius would have been very hard to beat in the Metropolitan the same day. We almost gave away a certain Group 1, but that ticket into the Melbourne Cup was valuable that year. Some years they are more than others, but this will no doubt still be a very good guide to the Melbourne Cup in a month. There's at least 3 very promising stayers in this race.
Great insight. So the Bart Cummings, named after your famous grandfather, James. It's wonderful to have you as part of our program. Who wins the golden ticket? There's the Ballarat Cup winner, Berkeley Square. Can he get a slot into the Melbourne Cup? Let's check out the action.
Ready to run, and away they go. And from the centre stalls, Mark Twain jumped well and then petered out. Trav ridden aggressively to keep in touch in the early stages. Asterix, Sadati boot up with also Gilded Water on the outside. So the favourite making its intentions pretty clear in the first 300 metres or so, as Gilded Water is going to sweep across the face of the field and lead from Sadati and Asterix, then Momona. Further back is Torrenzino, 5th, 3 wide and improving from Revelare. A length and a half Grand Piero, Burdubai, and further back Interpretation between horses. Beyond centre field is Mark Twain, followed by Trav and Fineo from Berkshire Breeze. Well back Valiant King, Mr. Wolfgang. And last of all is Berkeley Square as they head towards the 1700 metres. So the leader is Gilded Water in the Royal Silks, leading out by over 2 lengths. Second is Asterix, a length and 3/4. Sadati as Gilded Water kept them moving here and is starting to spread them as they reach the top of the course at the 1500 metres. Very keen up front. Torrenzino in 4th place already is about 9 off the leader, and they're 2 lengths in front of Burdubai, and then came Revelare outside of Momona. 2 lengths to Mark Twain, who's 3 wide. Further back is Grand Piero on the rails as they reach Chiquita Lodge at the 1200 metres. The leader and favourite is 6 lengths in front at the 1200 metre marker. So Gilded Water's out now, 7 lengths in front of Asterix. 3 lengths Sadati, 2.5 Torrenzino, a gap to Burdubai, Momona, Revelare. They were followed by Grand Piero next on the inside. Interpretation between horses. Mark Twain 3 deep. A length and a half Berkshire Breeze. Well back Trav. Also in that group of horses is Fineo, and they were followed by Valiant King, Mr. Wolfgang, and Berkeley Square. So Gilded Water approaching the home corner at the 650 is still 7 in front. Second is Asterix. Sadati is 3rd. third. Then came Torrenzino, Burju by. Next in the field, Revelare, who hooks towards the middle of the course. Momona battles on only. Then Gran Piero, and back behind those horses, Berkshire Breeze. So at the 400 metres, it's been daring. Gilded Water, still 4 lengths in front. It's a long home straight. Torrenzino, the bolter, chasing Revelare. Here's Valiant King and Berkshire Breeze coming on. Gilded Water at the 200 metres, absolutely paddling. Valiant King is absolutely mowing it down. Valiant King moves up and takes the lead, and Valiant King is going to bolt in. Valiant King by almost 3, Torrenzino. Gilded Water flopped over the line in a photo for third with Berkeley Square. Then for Neo, Berkshire Breeze, and back behind them, Trav running through the line. Revelare, Burju by Gran Piero, Sayadati, Interpretation, Mark Twain, well back Momona, Asterix, and Mr. Wolfgang.
So a couple of things, Lizzie. Firstly, Gilded Water was enormous. He was pulling. Jamie couldn't hold him, as it turned out, and he ran enormously. But this bloke ran 6th in the Caulfield Cup when he first came here in 2023. He's been in 2 Caulfield Cups in the top 10, and he ran in the Melbourne Cup last year and finished midfield. And Chris Waller's got himself another live chance.
He certainly does, but I suppose when you unpack this race, the tempo that Gilded Water set very early really just took the sting out of him in the end. As you referenced, he ran super, but Valiant King, he's just an out-and-out stayer. When I was watching this race, I said this will sort the men from the boys, because this was a really true staying contest. And the 2 horses that we know definitely get the trip, Valiant King, Torrenzino, they were the ones that ended up on top. We'll have to go back and dissect a few of the other runners. I thought Berkeley Square found the line quite nicely. You have to forgive Gilded Water. But when you have a look at the draws that both of these horses had, they elected to go forward from 14 on Gilded Water. Valiant King drew the outside of Gilded Water, went back, had a smother, and was able to find the line the strongest. I know Chris Waller's up in Sydney, but we've got Charlie Duckworth down here, and they've got another one in the Cup, Richo.
Charlie, congratulations to you and Chris. Can I start with the blinkers? They look like they worked.
Yeah, look, we were... we feel like we were robbed in autumn. We thought he was our number 1 seed in the Sydney Cup, and he just had a bit of a foot issue, missed the Sydney Cup, and that was the race that got away from us. But he's come back in, obviously, and he just needs ground, as simple as that. And the tempo suited, and yeah, he was just far too good for them, wasn't he?
He arrived with great credentials, remember that, but I think a few of the punters have lost faith. Did you guys ever lose faith?
Not really. We just hadn't had the opportunity to get him over the distances that he needs to be racing at to be competitive. The quicker they went today, obviously, was just going to play into his hands. And yeah, I mean, he's a look. We all love him because he's just an absolute gentleman of a horse. He's going to be a fan favourite, being a grey and everything else. And he's so kind and gentle to go with it. So delighted for Aussie Care and all of his team, because we've got a live contender.
Is he the sort of horse you need to race again before the Cup?
Look, Chris's main worry about today was actually stepping straight to the 2500. Obviously, it was a big old jump up in distance, but had faith that he was fit enough. So look, I'll leave it up to Chris whether we need to or not. But yeah, it's obviously good to be in the race, and now we've just got to plot a path there.
Yeah, and just quickly, he ran in the Caulfield Cup last time. Is that still on the radar? Everything is.
Yeah, everything is, exactly.
Well
exactly.
done. Well
Cheers.
done.
This is a bit of a cool story. So here we have Autumn Glow, and look at her, like nothing.
It's a length and a half clear, but Autumn...
Number on the screen or visit the website. Seven's coverage of horse racing is brought to you by Harvey Norman, powered by Snapdragon.
Now Autumn Glow going through her gears, charging away now the up-and-coming stakes, and she remains unbeaten. Autumn Glow extended away. Autumn Glow knuckling down now, and the filly's back with a bang. Autumn Glow roars away to win the Derby Munro. Now Autumn Glow, she's starting to open up the shoulders, and here she comes. Autumn Glow Glow went on past Youngster Granny. Autumn Glow's given the cue now, and the mare's starting to open up. Autumn Glow raced a length and a half clear, but Autumn Glow protecting her unbeaten record, and this Magic Mare makes it 6 out of 6.
It's hard not to be in awe of her, that's for sure and certain. But one of the big talking points, James and Katie, is the barrier today. Can she come from the outside draw and win? What does the speed map tell us, Katie?
I think she'll roll forward. I think she'll be looking to be outside the leader. I think that leader probably be fully lit. I think that will definitely roll across. Pericles won't be too far away, and El Costello is not going to go back from that barrier, so he'll hold a spot, no doubt about that. But from mine, I think Karen McAvoy will definitely try and roll forward. She's got great barrier speed.
Have a look at the jockeys and trainers trying to win their first Group 1 that are contesting today's Epsom. Maddie Sears there. Andrew Mallion, of course, to join Caitlin and the great-grandfather Mickey Mallion, and Wiona Costin as well. Let's go Roman with Emma Friedman before today's 160th running of the Epsom.
Jockeys getting ready for the Epsom Handicap and joined by Josh Parr, who rides Pericles last start. Win a lot to like about him second up.
Yeah, most definitely. He's in really good shape. His track work Tuesday was nice. I have full confidence that he'll run well here today.
Good luck. Out you go. So Josh Parr there. I'm going to grab Alicia Collett on the way through as well, who's on board Swift Falcon. Interesting blinkers going on today. What's the plan with this guy who typically does flash home late?
Look, firstly, try to get him out of the barriers and get him a little bit active. His work on Tuesday with the blinkers on was fantastic, so hopefully it wakes him up a bit.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Alicia Collett there, of course. Kathy O'Hara winning an Epsom 2 years ago. Andy Adkins would love to win an Epsom, I am sure. Since 2018, you haven't won a Group 1, but this guy, El Costello, an entire blinkers back on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sets up well. It's a good gate, good weight. Blinkers back on. Need a strong 2,000 metre horse for an Epsom, so I thought he maps well. Sets up well. He's a tough horse. He's going really well. He's a nice trial, so yeah, very exciting.
Is he an easy horse to handle?
Yeah, he's pretty chilled. He can get a little bit boisterous, I reckon, but I had him at the trials the other day, and he was brilliant. He couldn't do a thing wrong.
Go get him.
Thank you.
So just a couple of the jockeys as they get ready to be mounted aboard their horses for the Epsom Handicap over the classic Randwick Mile.
Good on you, Em. And some of the stories, well, Chow Wolf, can he defend and become the 7th horse? The Moonis won the race twice, but not in consecutive years. Pericles has been searching for that big Group 1 at Randwick. He's been placed at Doncaster and 5th at Doncaster. This is a Group 1 winner. We know he's an outstanding horse, El Costello. Will he do it? Suffered an eye injury today and is a late scratching. That is such bad luck in the Autumn Glow. She's quite remarkable. She's unbeaten, and that says it all. Already Chris Waller's had a phenomenal day by getting a horse into the Melbourne Cup yet again. And with Autumn Glow, you feel like it's personal in a way. That's how much he thinks about this mare. She could be anything, but we are going to find out today. And this race has tested the best milers in the land now for more than 150 years. It's 160th running. Ali, as we come to you for the market from the tag.
Her from $1.90 into $1.75. She does have 65% of the overall money invested on her. Pericles is on the second line at 8, has stayed relatively solid. Similar story with Chaya Wolf at 10. Pierre has been 13 into 11, 15 into 12 for Swift Falcon after opening 16. El Costello has just been specced now, 18 into 17, 26 NCAP, fully lit at 34, along with Lord Penman, and then 41 or more the rest. So it is all about Autumn Glow. And quote, our head trader Tim Ryan said to me, I can't see her getting any longer, if you want to put it that way, at $1.75. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Well, since 1865, only one horse has started shorter than that price in the Epsom. Chow Wolf, if he turns back the clock 12 months, he can make it 2 Epsoms.
Yes, he can. Although he's got the 58 kilos. He won it last year with 54 kilos, and there's only ever been one horse to win, and that's superimposed back in 1990 with 58.5. So it is hard. Tricky barrier to contend with. Does Chad go forward on him? Does he go back? I don't know how he's going to ride him. Pericles, one thing for sure, James, I'd say he's going to be probably more forward.
Yeah, he'll get the perfect box seat run. He's got a habit of getting great runs in races. He comes in fresh as he likes, and you've got to like him for the fact that he's going to be right there and give himself the run of the race sort of stuff.
You won $5.5 million as a trainer of him. Tell us about Autumn Glow, James.
Look, it's a testament to how good this filly is. We talked about her rating. The handicapper thinks she's a half kilo better horse than Winx at the same age. The query with her might be running the mile, particularly from outside the lead, if that's where she ends up, as you predict. Her mother, Via Africa, ran in the Alquoz. That's a sprint race in Dubai that we heard earlier. It's a quick family.
Pierre, is he classy enough to win this race, Pierre, do you think?
I think he is. He's drawn immediately to the inside of Autumn Glow. I could envisage Ethan Brown just making Autumn Glow work and then sit on her tail. That's the way to beat Autumn Glow over 1,600 metres if she's a query at the distance, and that's what might unfold here.
On cap, it was within a half a length of winning the Doncaster.
Yeah, look, he's a good horse. It's been a long time since he's actually won a race. He's had the 2 runs in. He's looked pretty good. He's not been beaten all too far in a Shannon at Group 2 level. He's only got 52 kilos on his back and he's drawn well, so he's going to get a nice economical run.
El Costello's won a spring champion. He's a Group 1. He's still a stallion. What about his chances? First up, good.
Well, yeah, he ran well. He was 5 lengths beaten by Autumn Glow first up, so he had good improvement on air. Blinkers again, stallion chain off, so he's behaving himself. He's got those red earmuffs on just to keep him nice and quiet. But as we heard from his jockey Andy Atkins, he's drawn barrier 1 and he's got 51 kilos on his back, so he has to be some sort of chance.
Annabelle would know for sure, and so would Rob, that the Queensland Guineas has produced 2 Epsom winners in Private Eye and Colding, and that's what Depth of Character did in the winter. He'll run well. Tell us about Swift Falcon, James.
Well, I can understand the Hawks going for the blinkers here. He was a bit disappointing at Newcastle, and maybe more was expected of him, but think back to March. He raced past Aliana to run a nice placing in the Guineas, in the Randwick Guineas, so he can run a very big race over the Randwick Mile.
He was sort of broadsiding's a great rival for a while. He's a quality horse. Lord Pedman, he was a very good horse in New Zealand. Can he produce something here?
I tell you what, he ran enormous last start at Randwick. I know it was only a benchmark 88, and this is a big jump up, but gee, he would have won that on his ear. He was very eye-catching. He's drawn barrier 10 and he's got 50 kilos on his back, so I can see him running a good race.
So they're the contenders. We've got this overwhelming favourite, haven't we, with Autumn Glow at the moment, who's about $1.75. So here's Pierre. So here's him playing up. So this is only a few moments ago. So have a look.
Naughty Kiwi, isn't he?
Absolutely. And Ethan Brown's got to get back on again. Did you like that, or didn't you like that as a trainer or a horse doing that?
That's not ideal. However, the stables, they know their horse as well, and you see the horse with the clerk of the course. They've got themselves as prepared as they can. Ethan Brown's a good horseman. He's a very good jockey. You'd have some faith that he could let that horse bowl to the barriers and just get him to relax a little bit. But you know what? He's got an amazing Group 1 record, Ethan Brown. He does. His record's right up there with James McDonald. He's in the 18% bracket. Not many jockeys in the country. I don't think there'd be a third one in the country.
I tell you what, he's a forward thinker too. When you watch him when he rides, he sees his spot where he wants to be, and that's exactly where he ends up. So.
James has done it 112 times more, but that's okay. To you, Ali, give us the market mover, please.
I'll stay out of that one. It has to be Autumn Glow, Bruce. I just can't make it anything else. Evens into $1.75. They're keeping it very safe.
Richo, I could have averaged the same as Don Bradman if I'd had 1 innings and scored 99.94, couldn't I? What do you think in the Epsom?
You're incredibly talented, Bruce. You could do anything, mate. It has to be Autumn Glow as the starting point. And I actually don't see the barrier as a concern for her. I don't mind her just back, allowing her to go through her gears at the right time. If the roughie for mine, she's always underestimated, is the NCAP, number 7. Can run a slashing race. Lizzie, how do you line up in this Epsom?
Well, I'd love to ask Katie and James their thoughts on the way this speed map is going to play out, because I suppose when you have horses like Fully Lit who've got the ability to go forward and put a bit of speed on or keep Autumn Glow out, what is Kira McAvoy need to do with Autumn Glow to get her in the right position to win this Epsom?
Yeah, I think they'll roll along here, and I think she's got such great gate speed. I don't think I'll see him drag back, James, so I think he'll go forward. But as you said, I don't think Ethan Brown's going to let him just get across easily.
No way. Ethan Brown's going to use as much as he can to take full advantage of his barrier. But I draw your memory back to the Theo Marks 3 weeks ago, and watching that race, you can't help but think that Karen McAvoy won't be able to hold her too far further back.
She's got this big action, doesn't she? And she finds her rhythm. You sort of go with her, and I feel like she gives the jockeys confidence to go with her.
Yeah, she'll begin briskly. That was a quick race 3 weeks ago. It's not as quick a race here, potentially, and she can just use herself and be in a prominent position.
If you were still training Pericles, would you tell Josh Parr to stay one off the fence on Pericles, because he'll go forward to make sure that Kerrin McAvoy's got to be 3 wide and not outside the leader early?
Well, it's a good question. I think Josh Parr should keep his mind open about that. But what I love about Pericles is that he doesn't spend any petrol, and he lets maybe someone else do that bullocking work for him, and he can be somewhat of the forgotten horse if she's vulnerable.
And another thing, you also want to worry about your horse too, what you're worrying, and not about Autumn Glow. You want to do the best thing that you can do is try and get your horse into a rhythm.
And I'm not saying Josh rides against Autumn Glow, but that would be an advantage for Pericles if he were to do that, because he's drawn a barrier where he can stay one off the fence. Look, we're in this incredible position. It's a race that's produced so many highlights over the years. Winks really arrived on this day. This was the day she arrived. She went straight from here to win a Cox Plate with nothing in between. Nothing in between the first of 4. What we're about to see is either the rise of some filly here that could be exceptional. She could be a generational horse, or she finds her mark at this point. That's what racing's all about. Here we go. Strap yourself in. We're in for something special. One way or the other.
This race 11 years ago was won by the great Winks, and it was really the springboard to her magnificent career. There's the light, and we're ready to go. The Tab Epsom of 2025 racing now, and Autumn Glow began nicely from the wide draw. There's plenty of pace there. El Costello's very handy pair going forward together with Pericles. Not too far from the action then was Verona Rose, just easing back as Fully Lit is pushing through now, looking for the lead. So it's Fully Lit just in front, coming across Autumn Glow, and Pear getting keen between them in third. El Costello fourth on the rails, then came Pericles, Death of Character, Verona Rose. Chaya Wolf settles back in the field from Yellow Brooks, with Falcon down on the fence from NCAP, and Lord Penman is the last one. Fully Lit leads as expected, and Kerrin McAvoy's got across on the hot favourite Autumn Glow. She's up running a beautiful second early, followed by El Costello. Half the outside to Pier. Depth of Characters pulling hard, moving up 3 wide now, followed by Verona Rose. Pericles in the middle of the pack, Yellow Brick the outside. Swift Falcon poking through on the rails. Then came Chaya Wolf from NCAP, and Lord Penman's last about 8 off the front runner, which is Fully Lit at the 600 metres. McAvoy's nudging away at the mare Autumn Glow. Pear's pulling out, followed by El Costello. So Fully Lit's giving them something to chase. Autumn Glow 2 lengths away, given a real wind-up. Then El Costello, Pear, and Pericles working into the clear. Fully Lit at the 300, a narrow leader. Autumn Glow responding to pressure, and the mare hits the lead with Pericles into the clear. Autumn Glow gets a length and a half clear, and Autumn Glow remains unbeaten. She was born a winner. She's the real deal. Autumn Glow goes on to win her 7th race from as many starts, beating Fully Lit and Pericles. Swift Falcon rattling home again. Further back to Pear, Verona Rose, Lord Penman late from El Costello, then Yellow Brick. Further back to NCAP, Depth of Character keen in the run, Chaya Wolf towards the rear.
She's 7 for 7, and what was so telling there, Katie and James, she was off the bridle before the home turn. We know she can idle up to them, but what she showed today, she's got the intestinal fortitude to go with all that ability.
She's got everything.
Amazing. I mean, she might not have come from last, but that was like watching Zenyatta. I mean, she off the bit, using that big action that you talked about before the race.
It's like she hit that flat spot, didn't she, around the corner, but the way that she picked up, she looked like she was powering through the line. She's got so much stamina. She's got this beautiful economical action on her. Fully Lit's ran out of his skin there for second. They didn't look like they went all too hard, so that was interesting that she did come off the bridle around the corner. But she is so special, this horse. She's flawless, she's unbeaten, and she just keeps on doing it.
Here's where she's under pressure, James and Katie. She's chasing. Now, Fully Lit's run the race of his life. Pericles, you should be so proud of, James, by the way. But she was asked, Randwick up the rise and now exposed in front, and she lengthened, didn't she? She kept on lengthening.
And it's completely reasonable that she was feeling the pressure because she's never run over 1,600 metres before. She's never run in a Group 1 before. And Ethan Brown did use her up, didn't he? She was in foreign territory there.
Absolutely.
It wasn't comfortable at all the first 400 metres for her. So that's a bigger effort than what it actually looks in the finishing margins.
Yeah.
But they certainly ran quite honest time, 1:33.14.
And also for K-Mac, another Group 1. Now that it's the 85 Group 1s, and for Chris Waller, 183. It's exceptional to see him ride a top quality horse. I think he's had now 3 rides on her for 3 victories. So
incredible. So the Golden Eagle. And the other thing, guys, when the back shot of it, that backside of hers a moment ago, we saw that backside of she is just the perfect thoroughbred, isn't she?
What does he do with her now, Chris Waller? Does he put her away?
Golden Eagle.
Does he go to the Golden Eagle?
Absolutely.
Does John Massara ignore the Group 1s on offer at Flemington?
He's 78, John, so I don't know. Here's Chris.
Well, she's just different, Chris. I mean, she's the new perfect one. She gets that Group 1 now, and I tell you what, on the turn, she needed revving up, but she's just built different.
Yes, she is. I felt what you felt. She's just like any other horse, but when the pressure goes on, she's different. She keeps going. So we did it the hard way today from that draw. She had a bit of weight for a mare, or a young mare, and we went back. It's pretty hard to make up ground, so we've asked her to do it the first half, and she's responded in the second half.
There was a lot of things, I think, semi-against her today because she is a class animal and she was a class above these guys today, but the gait, the weight, never being to a mile, never going to a Group 1, only 3 mares have won Epsoms in the last 30 years. Did any of those stats rattle around in your head the last week or so?
All of them, but not rattle around. No, we've just got a great team, and Mr. Massara, the Arrowfield group, they're awesome supporters. They know their horses, and they'll be proud. Sydney's been good to them, and they're very proud of Sydney racing and what's been achieved in the last few years, and I know it'll mean a lot to them.
She's a 4-year-old mare. What do you do? Are you going to a Golden Eagle? Can we see her in something bigger and better in Melbourne?
We'll take her home and give her lots of pats and a few picks of grass and just spoil her, and then work out next week where we head. But I think the best is yet to come, and obviously got the Golden Eagle. Like, we're spoilt with choice in Sydney. It's the richest race in the world, really, on turf, when you take out the Everest, when you've got to split the slots and things like that. So that'll take a little bit of missing. And it's a Group 1 race at our back door. Have I given it away yet?
Well, I think so. I think you've given it away, but congratulations to keep that undefeated record intact. I'm sure it has weighed on you, but you've done it.
Yeah, no, it's a great privilege to be training.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thanks.
It's big stuff. It really is big stuff. So Golden Eagle, the other thing Chris said there, it's a Group 1 race. Now, it's not officially a Group 1 at the moment, so I don't know if Chris knows something that we don't know. So watch this space with the Golden Eagle. Not sure, but all of that to play out. So that's where she's heading. She's 7 for 7. When Winks won the Epsom, she had 13 starts for 7 wins. There's only one Winks. There is only one Winks, but there might be only one Autumn Glow, and Via Sistina is incredible. Can she win yet another Group 1 here at 11 and win back-to-back? Or is Aliana the new one on the block? They're both trained by Waller again, believe it or not. Half yours, Richo's mentioned Incentivise, and why not? How impressive was he in the naturalism? Golden Path, I love the way he's weighted today on the set weights and conditions, and Sedelius, it's all to play out for him. How he finishes off the last 200 will be absolutely revealing. Matt Nevin, we're excited. We've just
Craig Williams was able to win the race with Green Moon in 2012. Comes off a terrific win, winning the Underwood Stakes. And then we had an opportunity to see the superstar that is Via Sistina with James McDonald. That's the reason why he is here. in Melbourne to ride this star that is Via Sistina. Can she make it Group 1 number 11, which is absolutely rare air? She'll improve so much on her Maccabi Diva Stakes run. The tactics are going to be interesting from that inside barrier. 5 is Moya. Lizzie's alongside the up-and-coming. Half yours.
He's a gorgeous individual, isn't he? He's got a big, long stride on him. He's very well conditioned, and he was excellent last time out in the naturalism. He looks as though he's hitting this race at the right time. But the horse I really want to have a look at is Aliana. She never glows in the coat. She never looks $1 million, but she has got this intestinal fortitude. You can see that she has got not a lot of condition on her. That's a normal parade from her, and her coat is still looking a little bit rough around the edges. But I've seen her parade in this type of manner, even in a derby, and she was able to get the job done. So don't look at her in the yard. She's always like this.
A couple of outsiders. Young Verda having his 4th attempt at the race, and Adelaide River, I think, can run really well. Ran second to Kingston Town. And number 10 is Golden Path. Jordan Childs is riding. His dad, Greg, won the race on 3 occasions. In fact, won the race with Sunline and Northerly. Well, they're good on the CV, aren't they? Golden Path has a task here in this grade, but he's going so well. They're a couple of the key runners as we build up towards what's going to be a great race, the Turnbull. The market mover, Matty.
There's no doubt about it, Richo. It's a strong push late for Aliana. She's into $3.70 with Sportsbet.
So it's unique, this race in Australian racing, Lizzie, because it's a Group 1, but it's set weights with penalties. So wins in black type and big money races since August the 1st, 2024 come into calculations. So Antino has 59 kilos. So as a Group 1, only Zipping back in 2010 has carried the 59 to win. It is a big task. So you see horses like Middle Earth suddenly only having 55. Now Mark Zara will ride 1 kilo overweight. Set weights and penalties are interesting.
Certainly is, Richo, and it really sort of is that. We've spoken about this all day, about it being moving day, because last year's edition we saw the Cox Plate winner, we also saw the Caulfield Cup winner, and we saw the Melbourne Cup winner. So you have to really sort out which horse is heading in what direction and which one is here to really win. I just think Via Sistina, I know everyone's with Aliana, she does get in better at the weights, it is probably, she's more suited, but Via Sistina, she's only got 1 blip in her copybook since her last start, and that was at Flemington. It wasn't a race that really suited her or didn't suit anything in that race. And I just think over this distance, 2,000 metres, we're going to see the real Via Sistina.
James, I'd love your thoughts. It's set weights with penalties. Can Via Sistina with 57, so that's really 59, can she give weight to all of these and win?
Well, she can, because she's so good, and she's capable of bouncing back from her effort last time. However, 12 months ago in the Turnbull, was she as good as she was in the Cox Plate? No way. This is just still a lead-up run. You'd have to think that a horse like Golden Path, who was sticking on at the end of the Underwood at weight for age, dropping down to his weight, is far better weighted than a horse like Via Sistina. And even Half Yours. He's got a higher rating than Half Yours, and he's carrying 2 pounds less than him in this race. Golden Path's an interesting runner who will probably go forward and give us sight for a long way.
So Richard, I guess what James is doing, he's talking about what you and Lizzie were talking about, set weights and penalties. It's such a different dynamic here. I reckon J Mac will be motivated, Richo. He would have just seen what had happened in the Epsom. He will be highly motivated right now.
Well, he's never lacked motivation, and he's on board the Australian Horse of the Year. Say no more. There's 7 Group 1 winners in this field. It is the Turnbull Stakes. It became a Group 1 in 2006. Svennefighter won the first one, co-owned by our Channel 7 horse racing presenter and Shane Crawford, who's been fantastic for us today. It's got all the elements, all the ingredients for a classic. Will we see a Cups contender or a Cox Plate contender? We've got the defending champ in Via Sistina, and here's Sir Delius for Gay. Here we go, the Turnbull.
Ready at the 2,000 metres. Golden Path agitated. Aliana wanting to nudge about. They're set, ready and away at the 2,000 metres. Middle Earth missed the kick by 4 lengths. Land Legend goes back to second last. No speed, Zardozi. Aliana jumped well from River of Stars, and there's Adelaide River pushing up on the outside. Deacon is right up there too in the early stages. Young Verta improves to 4th. Then came Golden Path, Via Sistina on the inside. Half Yours midfield, Sir Delius around at 3 deep. Next on the rails is Zardozi, followed by Antino. Then came Moira, Middle Earth, and Land Legend is last in the Turnbull. 1,400 metres to go, a steady tempo. Adelaide River is the leader. From Young Verta second, a length and a half to Deacon. Sir Delius progressing around them wider. They were followed by Aliana, 5th on the rails from River of Stars as they continue their journey past the 1,200. Antino a little wide, a length and a half Via Sistina. Then came Golden Path, Zardozi as well back in the field as they reach the 1,100 metres. Half Yours covers up the mare. They're 2 lengths to Moira, Middle Earth, and last is Land Legend. Adelaide River, 1,000 metres to go, leads the field in the Turnbull Stakes. From Young Verta second, 3/4 of a length away. They were followed in third by on the inside Deacon, and then came Antino, who continues that run. Sir Delius between them. Golden Path with a back to follow, followed by along the inside Aliana. They were followed by River of Stars. Out deeper on the track, getting going is Via Sistina, is now 3 and 4 deep. Via Sistina. They were followed by Zardozi, Half Yours, and well back Middle Earth. So it's Adelaide River came around the corner at the 450. Antino moves up on the outside under a hole. Deacon under pressure. Sir Delius trying to come on. Then Young Verta, Via Sistina, and Aliana up the middle of the course. Antino at the 250 takes Adelaide River. Then Sir Delius staying on from Via Sistina. Antino below the 200. Sir Delius wearing it down. Sir Delius takes the lead from Antino, Via Sistina. Sir Delius, take note. The real deal. Sir Delius, 2 lengths Antino, Via Sistina, and then Half Yours Aliana. Deacon behind them, Adelaide River, Zardozi, Moira. Further back in the field then was Middle Earth, Young Verta, River of Stars, Land Legend. Golden Path at the tail of the field.
Well, we call it moving day, Lizzie. We call it moving day. And moving day it really is. Just before I go to you, Lizzie, I want one quick comment from you, James. What did you see there with Sir Delius?
Well, he was always going to be a far more comfortable horse at Flemington than he was at Caulfield a few weeks ago. But there's your Melbourne Cup favourite. There's no doubt about that. And he'll run in the Cox Plate on the way through, just like Fiorente did for Gay in her first Melbourne Cup. She might get another one.
He was running in the Arc this time last year, wasn't he? And that's going to be run tomorrow. Moving day, Lizzie. We feel like things have moved a bit after today.
Certainly have, Bruce. That was an epic performance. Also noted the ride on Antino as well. Really put him into the race at the right time. Left him vulnerable, but it was Sir Delius who was just finding the line beautifully. As James mentioned, getting to Flemington was absolutely going to suit him, but it just shows how versatile he is. Via Sistina put up a nice enough performance. She was left a touch flat-footed. She's still on her way towards the Cox Plate. But what do we say about Craig Williams? He is just having an absolute spring to remember, and this interview with Gay Waterhouse is going to be absolutely electric. We can't wait to see her here at Flemington the first Tuesday in November. She's absolutely the queen of racing, and she has found another good one to get her here on that big Tuesday. I can't wait for this. Richo's alongside the queen of racing.
Well, Gay, congratulations. Boy, gee, he was so impressive today. You've won a Turnbull, and bring on the rest of the spring.
He just gobbled them up, didn't he? Yeah. And he's got the most amazing turn of foot. He didn't have the easiest of runs. When he jumped, Craig had to make a decision. He pulled him back to back of midfield. Then when he made a move, he was caught too wide. Then they came up around him and he was in a pocket. But I just love when the water's open, you know, just like Noah. No, but that's like he went boom across.
Oh, unbelievable, isn't it? In the way he was eating up the ground, like bring on the cup, but the Cox Plate on the way through.
Hey, you don't talk about alpha males when we talk about you, Jason. Well, it's just like that. He is an alpha male.
Oh, Cox Plate next?
I can't wait.
Yeah, just looks perfect for him, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It certainly does. He can travel anywhere in the field. That's a big advantage. And Craig understands about pressing the button.
A son of Frankel that costs a lot of money, but by gee, is worth every cent, isn't he?
Worth every cent, and they wouldn't be swapping it for anything.
You go and enjoy this. You deserve it.
Thanks, Jason. Thank you.
Good on you, Gay. So 163 Group 1s for her. And for Willow, he stays one in front of Karen McAvoy. 86, and he's got 4 for this season. Thea Sistina was good. She was so good late, and Tino's run exceptionally well. But there was a gap between first and second when they hit the post. He is so impressive. Chris Lee's won the first of his 18 Group 1s with County Tyrone, who he took over from his father 21 years ago to win the Met-Top. He's got changing of the guard today. It would be something for him to win a second one. First Group 1 today. There's Anna Roper. She's such a promising young jockey, along with Molly Burke and Louise Day, and Winona Costin and Brock Ryan and the trainers Grant Cooksley. He's actually ridden the winner of this, Grant Cooksley, for the bloke that he co-trains with, Paul and Matt Jones. Anna Roper is with Emma Freedman right now.
Special unprecedented access on a Group 1 day. The girls have allowed us to come into the women's jockeys room as I sit down and sidle up to young Anna Roper, who has her first ever ride in a Group 1 today, Glory Days in the Metrop. How are you feeling? I'm getting a bit of nervy vibes, but that's okay.
Definitely nervous, definitely excited. I think making the weight was the first big challenge. We've done that, so that's the first step out of the way.
So 50 kilos, and you're about my height, maybe a little bit taller. How have you done that over the last few weeks?
Just eating clean and exercising pretty much. It's been a quiet couple of weeks, but you do it for things like this, it's really exciting.
He's a horse that you've ridden before, and this preparation, he has been running a drum nearly every single start. He loves Randwick. You've drawn a nice gate. There's a lot of things in your favour, but I'm guessing you would have liked the heavens to have opened up this week.
Definitely would have liked a bit of rain. He's obviously better on a wet track, but he is ultra consistent. He keeps putting in good runs, so if he runs up to how he's been running, he should go super, and that barrier draw was ideal. Just get to put him in a nice spot, and we'll be positive from the gate, so hopefully we can just put him in a forward spot, and he should have every chance from there.
Before you get out there, you're lucky because you've got a couple of gurus in this room. I speak about Rachel King over there in the corner. She won a Metropolitan in those same silks only 2 years ago. Hopefully she can help you calm the nerves before the time is right.
I'm sure she'll be a help. All the girls in here are amazing, and they're very helpful when it comes to things like that, so super to have them.
Hey, wishing you the best of luck and enjoy it.
I will, thank you.
How good's that? So let's have a look at Soul of Spain, guys. He's won his last 4. This has been the rise and rise of this horse.
Yeah, he certainly has been rising, hasn't he? He's just been beautifully placed. He won the Newcastle Cup at Group 3 level, but the way that he's doing it, he's doing it so well, isn't he? He just keeps on getting better. So he's only got the lightweight of 50.5 kilos today with Zach Lloyd in the saddle.
So, James, then we go to the Kingston Town. Birdman's got a bad draw. Kieran McAvoy's got his tail up. The Kingston Town's been a pretty reliable guide in recent years to the Metrop.
Yeah, and winning it, because it's a set weights and penalties race, it allowed Birdman to escape a penalty for that victory. Otherwise, he'd be carrying another 2.5 kilos here. So he's in light, but he had a dream run that day, and now he's not so fortunate with the draw in coming into barrier 16. It just makes things challenging for Kieran McAvoy.
So 1866, it goes back such a long way. It had a real run with Melbourne Cup winners in the 1950s, and it has fed some into the Caulfield Cup. The Metrop, the Metropolitan here on Epsom Day. To Ali, to you, from the tab for the market, this should be wide.
It is wide, Bruce, absolutely spot on. So Soul of Spain is our favourite. So they're going for the Newcastle Cup form. That's what they're looking at here, the punters, into 440, in from 480. So is best backed, but they're basically laying everything at the moment. So if you're looking at that Newcastle Cup form, they're keen on then Travolta at the $8 quote, in from 9. You've got Birdman there at 7s as well. Etna Rosso has been spec'd 10 into 950. Royal Supremacy 950 just out to 10. Changing of the guard at 11s. Vauban just easing 11 to 13. Flying Bandit has been really worth a mention here because this is a good move. Went up 51s on Tuesday, now into 17s. 18 about Juaquibo, 19 Arapaho out from 12, and then 34 or more the rest. So as you said, Bruce, very open, but Soul of Spain, the one they're just starting to hone in on now at 440 favourite. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Thanks for that, Ali. We'll come back to you a little later for the market mover as we go into the mounting yard. though, Ben, we know him so well. Katie's been favourite in a couple of Melbourne Cups. I think he's better at 2,400 than he is at 3,200 on the flat, personally. I do. His last start run, I thought, wasn't what they wanted, but he had a lot of chasing to do. But his first up run was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree with you. And isn't he turned out in beautiful order? He's gleaming in the coat. He's nice and settled there with his red earmuffs on, which will come off before the start. But I do believe that he's going well, and he's third up, looks nice and fit. He's just got that big weight to contend with.
And Gay and Adrian having some sort of a day. Arapaho, he's the class in so many ways, Katie. He's won a Sydney Cup, but he's won a Tancred.
Oh, how can you not love him? He's on speed. He gives his all every time. He's got a great record with Rachel King, who knows him so well. So he'll roll forward from that barrier, and he's fourth up. As I agree with you, he's been going really well. He's got his hoof on the till, but another big horse with a lot of weight to carry, 58.
James, change of the guard will probably go forward, I'd imagine.
Yes, he got a cheap lead to win last start. He did return to his best UK form though. Ethan Brown is in great form. We talked about his high strike rate as a Group 1 jockey. He takes over from James McDonald. This is a very lightly raced 7-year-old, and he's only had 15 starts, so he can be a big factor today.
What about Birdman? You talked about him a moment ago winning the Kingston Town.
Yeah, look, he also had a dream run that day, so it almost exacerbates the difficult draw today because it's the polar opposite of what he had to face last time.
So he comes through that Kingston Town. What about the Newcastle Cup form? It was a slowly run race, but this horse can only keep winning, and that's what he's doing.
True, and if you're looking for the right form for a mile-and-a-half race, go looking for mile-and-a-half races. I think that's a good place to start. He's building a picket fence of wins, 4 on the trot. That is not easy to do in this jurisdiction.
So he's the favourite. Ali's told us he's been well back. Etna Rosso, he's a good horse. He closed well and he ran well in this race last year.
Yeah, he did. He's had a few goes, hasn't he? He's got the 50 kilos on his back and he's drawn barrier too. So he's going to get the best run in the race wherever Jay wants to park him. And I love when Jay teams up with the lightweight chances with Chris Waller too. I know he hasn't won this race, but he's won some big Group 1s for Chris in the past on these lightweight chances.
I used to love piggyback. I used to like being on the back, not being the piggy. And to give the Spirit a chance.
Well, she's in red hot form. She won really well last week in the Colin Stephen at Group 3 level. She beat Juju Keeper on that occasion. She puts herself in a spot, which she's going to have to do because she has drawn a little bit of a tricky barrier.
We heard from Anna Roper talking to Emma a short time ago, so we know she's nervous. She knows she's going to try and enjoy this first ride in a Group 1 on Glory Days, who's going well, probably better on a wet track, we know that, but is going well, so not to be dismissed completely. So that's the 12 there with Anna. The 13 is Royal Supremacy, another one of the Australian Bloodstock. Good in the Newcastle Cup, just beaten by, and then won the Wyon Cup before that and won at Randwick. So form really good, and I can see why Riccio likes it, and in the market actually.
Yeah, look, he's really consistent, isn't he? And Robbie Dolan, of course, is a Melbourne Cup winning jockey, so he loves these staying events, 50 kilos on his back. He's a durable horse. Flying Bandit, I can see why Lizzie likes this guy too. I give him a little chance. He's been running really well, albeit in benchmark company. He's third up, and he is thrown a little bit in the deep end, but he's down in the weights and he's drawn well.
He has, and he won the Wagga Cup, and Travolta, good solid customer, isn't he?
Yeah, this is interesting. He's a very fit racehorse. This will be his 8th start in 15 weeks. He certainly is showing no signs he's had enough. From the inside draw, Ben Thompson will just get run of the race stuff with only 50 kilos on his back.
And isn't Ben riding well back in Queensland now? Of course, he went to Hong Kong and for a couple of years, and he's ridden all over the world, and he's absolutely going. And Juju Keeper, this is also quite lightly raced horse that's been well placed, I think.
Yeah, we liked him last week when his stablemate beat him on piggyback. Look, he's going really well. Another lightweight chance, but he's drawn awkwardly, so probably has to push forward from there, hopefully do not too much work.
Because the 2,400 metre start here, you do get a bit of a run to that first turn, but it's you can see it here. You get a great view of it. It's not that long a run to that first turn. You've got to be proactive. Ali, let's go back to you from the tab for the market mover for the Metropolitan.
I've met at Flying Bandit, Bruce, so he opened 51s on Tuesday and he's now into 17s. Pretty good push.
That is a good push. So that's a big move. So the Wagga Cup winner, 4th at Rose Hill, over 1,900. He goes from 1,900 to 2,400. What's that like, James? We saw Valiant King today from 1,500 to 2,400 or 2,500. What's that like, 1,900 to 2,400?
Well, it's pretty unusual. You wouldn't see it done too often in Europe, but these European stayers, it's a bit like the horse that won the Bar Cummings today. That horse just has great lung capacity to be able to do that off a fast tempo, and perhaps you might be able to see something like that, but that's not as big a jump, what this horse is doing compared to what we saw in the Bar Cummings. That was really something.
It really was, considering the fast pace. Katie, what are you thinking here?
Actually, there's a horse at big odds here in Athabaskan who he finally draws a good barrier. He's down in the weights. I saw him during the week and they've jumped him and they've really sparked him up.
How did he seem during the week?
Well, usually when I see him, he's very quiet and subdued. He was very much up and about, so might just be what he needs. And he's a good horse. We know he's a good stayer, and he's only got 52 kilos on his back and barrier 3 with Dylan Gibbons. So he's been running well, but you don't really see the best of him until you get to these trips.
He did run second in the Sydney Cup, and he's been also in the Sydney Cup. I think he's been fifth in the Sydney Cup, so he's been a good staying horse. That's for sure and certain. It's a race. It's a grand final in many ways, James. I mean, did you target this race much? I mean, you probably had a different style of horse, but it's sitting there for the plucking almost, isn't this race at times?
It is, and it feels like the Macedon Lodge horses, well, Lloyd Williams and Nick Williams have had, quite a bit of luck in this race in the past, and you'd like to think, you'd like to think a horse like Changing of the Guard could run a big race here, but this is going to be an important race for a Caulfield Cup in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that the Caulfield Cup prominent player could come out of it.
Adrian Bott just joins us. And before, Adrian, I've got to ask you about Sedelius. He was just unbelievable today.
Incredible. He's got an amazing will to win, doesn't he? See the years go back, and incredible win. So very exciting.
He's got a lot of weight, this horse, and history shows it's very hard to carry this weight in the Metropolitan. What are your confidence levels with Vauban?
Yeah, look, that's going to make it difficult for him, but I'm really confident the horse himself. He looks well. I thought he presented much better today. He's really come on nicely in the coat. Thought the way the race just worked out last start for him, he ended up in an awkward position in the run, and just only being second up a real testing 2,000 metres just sort of had him stretched the whole way. So more suitable distance, he should be able to find a better rhythm today.
He paraded so well, as you mentioned. Do you think that the fast run race of the Kingston Town might have helped bring him on this preparation?
That was the positive to look out of that race. Hard to accept on the day when we thought he was disappointing, but ultimately you need those tough runs to get to those grand finals. Plans to try and get him through to a Caulfield Cup their next start, so you need the proper conditioning early in the prep. So it's done that for him, and hopefully we can see that today.
He's got a good draw, so how do you want Tim to ride him here?
Just ask Tim to ride his own race. No urgency to be doing anything with him. Just try and keep him happy in the run. Just find a nice rhythm. As I said, we thought he was just a little bit bustled there last start. Just want to sort of try and give him a chance to switch off and settle today.
And just finally, let's hope everything goes well in this race. Is it now you're thinking Caulfield Cup because of the way you've redirected him slightly?
Yeah, so he'll head down to the Caulfield Cup after this and still plan to try and get him through to the Melbourne Cup. But all things going well, that'll be his next 2 runs.
And can we just confirm Sedelius would go to a Cox Plate, do you think?
Yeah, we didn't even accept in the Caulfield Cup to give us the temptation, just straight for the Cox Plate. We backing that was the right race for him. We got the right race, the right horse for the Melbourne Cup, and I think that's the right path.
You've had a great day. Well done. Let's hope it continues, Adrian.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All the best. Richo, just a final thought from you, mate, and Lizzie for the Metro.
I thought Changing of the Guard and Birdman are the ones to fight this out. Lizzie, how do you assess it?
Oh, look, I think it's whoever gets the best run in transit, but I do think Flying Bandit is going a lot better than his price suggests. It's that sort of race.
And he's the market mover, Lizzie, so there's a fair bit of confidence about him as well. So up they come. Just a couple to come up for the Metrop. So just one shy of the Epsom. 159th running, 1866. It's a long, long time ago. Here we go for the 2025 Metrop.
Gates are back now, and they're off and racing. Travolta jumped well from barrier 1. Glory Days is right there. Athabaskan's in the firing line as well. Now, wide out of Arapaho being sent forward. Don Diego de Vega and Piggyback. Sun and Sand is very, very wide early. So Travolta parks in behind the speed runners. Changing of the Guard as well. Soul of Spain's pretty wide turning out of the straight. Etna Rosso's pushing through on the inside of Flying Bandit. Further back to Royal Supremacy down on the rail. Son of Suns in a 3-wide position on the outside of Vauban. Joe Kibo has to go back today. Sitting on the outside of Wycliffe. Birdman second last, and More Felon sees them all. Sun and Sand taken to the front now by Banana Costume with a lightweight. That did a bit of work to get there. Out by a length and a half to Piggyback. Athabaskan well positioned. And Arapaho up running a very handy 4th. Length and a half to Travolta on the inside of Glory Days, and Don Diego de Vega deeper out. They're followed then by Changing of the Guard. Back on the inside, Etna Rosso there in the blue cap. Soul of Spain, the favourite, in the white cap, the outside. Further back to Vauban, Son of Suns in a wide position. On the outside of Flying Bandit. Back in the field is Duke Kibo together with Wycliffe. Now Vauban's back to third last, Bourbon behind. And More Felon sees them all. They're inside the halfway mark in the Metropolitan, and Glory Days shoots to a clear-cut lead now, out by a length and a half to Sun and Sand. Piggyback now third. They're followed by Athabaskan, Arapaho fifth, the outside. Followed then by Travolta, well positioned on the inside of Don Diego de Vega. Soul of Spain out wider, starting a run and really creeping into it quickly. Flying Bandit trying to get onto his back. Etna Rosso further back. Then came Vauban giving away a big start from Wycliffe as they race up to the home turn. Glory Days being eyeballed now by Piggyback, and Soul of Spain moves up on the outside. Royal Supremacy of the white cap into the clear. Back on the inside, Athabaskan from Sun and Sand. They stretch right across the track. At the 300 metres, Soul of Spain, the favourite, hits the lead. Royal Supremacy is going after it on the outside, clear from Piggyback. Duakibo, Vauban's in a bad pocket. Royal Supremacy moved up to Soul of Spain. Royal Supremacy hits the front. Royal Supremacy draws away to win the Metropolitan from Soul of Spain. Duakibo ran third. Then More Felons, Vauban a bit stiff, followed by Travolta. Further back to Birdman, Piggyback, then Wycliffe. Next in Flying Bandit, followed by Etna Rosso, Glory Days. Further back then to Don Diego de Vega, Athabaskan, Arapaho dropped out from Son of Sana, Sun and Sand. And something may have gone amiss here with Changing of the Guard. It's finished tailed off.
So Robbie Dolan's only ride for the day, the Melbourne Cup last year. He wins his fourth Group 1 in total and wins the Metrop. He likes a stayer.
He does like these stayers, and yeah, look, he made a long sustained run around them, and he hit the front. He's such a durable horse. He's nice and fit. He was down in the weights. He used his weight, no weight on his back, James, and he won pretty well in the end.
Yeah, and a testing pace that was set for these days. So the lightly weighted runner came to the fore, but great to see for Robbie Dolan. He's a talented rider. He can obviously ride a stayer very well.
No, incredible. Vauban was terrific, by the way. He ran exceptionally well under his big weight. And no surprise that it's Kieran Maher, Chris Waller and Kieran Maher in a race like this, the Metropolitan. 13.9.18, let's check back in with Shane Crawford.
Now, I told you today I was going to find a hens party, but I can do better than that. I found a netball party. Now, everyone here is from, where are you from?
Port Arlington.
Port Arlington, which is not too far from Melbourne, is it?
No, not too far. Probably only about an hour and a half, but that's fine.
And how'd we go this year? Did we win? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, it's great to see you here. Be careful because the boys on a footy trip are from Winchelsea, just down the road, so be careful. And have a great day. Hope you're back a few winners. And you all look incredible. Well done. You should be on Fashions of the Field. Why are you laughing? I'll tell you. You should be.
So back to the Metrop. So Robbie Dolan gave this a terrific ride. It looked like the favourite might be in a winning position coming up the rise. Boban's trying to work his way through and can't at this stage.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of good runs that probably didn't have the greatest luck, James, but yeah, Vauban was very unlucky. But I think, before I get to you, James, I think Kieran Maher is with Emma.
What a thrill to win a Metrop with a horse after only, this is the 13th start.
Yeah, it was Australian bloodstock, and they just keep finding the right horse. Great job by our team, and I was a little bit disappointed. I thought we were a pretty good chance to win the Newcastle Cup, but this is much better. So, no, wraps. Great crew of owners, and great ride by Robbie Dolan. He'll be doing plenty of singing tonight.
For sure, you'll have the entertainment covered at your after party, that's for sure. I mean, going forward, he's done that, 2,400 metres, not a worry in the world. Where do you push on to?
Bloody, there's only one more race, and 2 miles on the first Tuesday.
Could this man go back-to-back with Melbourne Cups in Robbie Dolan?
Well, we could see he certainly had a good affinity his first try on him, so they can all dare to dream now.
Easy enough horse to have in the stable?
Yeah, he actually spends a lot of time up at the beach up at James Harding's. Has a lot to do with his training. He doesn't like the hustle and bustle of the city, and he enjoys the Anna Bay Beach. So, it's fantastic, and he's done a great job.
A nice life for him. We'll see him next first Tuesday in November. Nothing in between now and then?
I don't think so. We'll just see how he comes through, but he's very fit. He's had a good grounding, and just wrapped.
Congrats, mate.
Thrilled.